Hello everybody and welcome to today's Q&A, which is brought to you by So-Called Services just outside of Newmarket. But firstly, this week's Fuel Watch. So last week we had Watson's at 148.17, Xpress Fuels at 148.98, nothing between the two really, UK Fuels 151.91 and Motia at 158.41. So, other than UK Fuels, all around about the same. White Man Van had UK Fuels at 150.35, Silvery Key Fuels at 148.76, and Tate at 152.02. So last week you should have been around about the 148. Don't know this week's yet because it's still early in the morning on a Friday. Well, not early in the morning. Let's say early in the morning. It's currently 9:45. But when I started at 4:20 on my way to Beccles, which is like on the coast, so I'm on my way to pick up my second job now. I'm going to Bury St Edmunds, collect something, going to Slough, because of course I'm going to Slough because it's Friday afternoon, and that's where we go on Friday afternoons, regardless of whether we start in Aberystwyth, Adelaide, or the Moon. We end up in Slough. It just seems to be the way. As for so-called services, they ever drive you mad? When you're driving along and it's his services and you got a sign, parking, foods, beds, all that, you think, okay, that looks like it might be a decent one. You put in petrol station, no parking, particularly on A roads. You get this a lot on A roads, no parking or minimum wait of like 20 minutes. Well, I've got to have half hour. So I've had it before. I've had a ticket at one down near Brighton. And it was, I didn't realise it was minimum wait 20 minutes. You know, what? I can't see any signs like that. I've got a few no parking signs over there, but this bit I think we might be okay. So what can I do? I'm on 428. I got caught in the contraflow. I'm on 428. I've got to stop. So there we go. Right. So what do we have this week? And Mickey says in the current political climate, fuel will go through the roof this week. I'd say Motia reckon the fuel's going to go down by 3p. So I'm thinking next week you should see a drop on your cards, but we'll see. Right, this week's one was organising scraps. Now, the eagle-eyed among you may notice that in that one I was wearing shorts. That's because I recorded that video last summer. I told you I'm backing them up. I've tried to not back them up so much anymore because I try to keep the channel a little bit more contemporary. I mean, the one coming out this week is on something that's just happened on the CX. So have a look out for that one. But yeah, since then I've changed it slightly. I've got me like ice cream tubs, and I find it's really easy to have one tub full of straps, one tub full of ratchets, just so you're not sort of always fighting between the two to work out what's what. Because my straps are two different lengths. I've got red ones that are 6 meters and blue ones that are 8 meters, and that way I know if they're going to put on like a heavy little pallet, red strap, or if they're going to put on like masses of like racking like I had this morning, needs a blue strap. Otherwise you throw the strap, you don't know what it is, and you've got like meat and you're just going like this, trying to sort of really pulling it through. It's just a pain. But then I've added a third ice cream tub, the purple one. We had the red and green before, and that's got all the miscellaneous stuff. That's got it like WD-40 for the straps to keep them moving. Corners, because you need corners when you're doing metal, otherwise it just tears straight through your straps. And my little drill bit, because sometimes you need you need the driver, and a knife in case you've got to cut band in. I might put some cutters in there as well. But just it's handy to have like a little tiny little, I suppose a toolbox if you like. I mean, I have got tools like spanners and hammers and stuff like that, but they live in the locker up there. But yeah, if you need like just stuff that you might need when you're in the back, and of course I've got a broom, but I broke that this week at Elstree, the BBC. That's not relevant. It just happened to be where it worked when I broke it. That was the longest job ever. I got there at 8:30 in the morning, just north of Leeds, north of like Warrington, north of Birmingham. 4 hours to load. Not the longest yet. The longest is still 6.5 hours. 4 hours to load, then about 2.5 hours down to Boreham Wood, and then another 2.5 hours to get it off because of the way they loaded it. I started at 8:30 in the morning. I finished at 5:30 on one job, but we got it off. Anywho, As for the straps, Dale Steele says, don't people use pole systems anymore? There's tracks on the floor and clips in these poles to stop things moving around. Lots of people do lots of different things now. Sometimes some of the Arctics, they do the pole and they clip the things in sideways. If you've got a rigid, some of them got spring-loaded poles. They're really good because you can get the pole right up to the load, spring-load it in, which is lovely if you've got a rigid, if you've got a box. But if you've got a curtain, you can't do that. My mate Giuseppe, who I buy all the straps off, who's Ratchet Straps UK, I've done a video on him before. He's brilliant because he carries all the straps in the UK in his warehouse. You can go to warehouse and buy them. It's not a matter of they say they're here and then you realise they're coming in on a container from China. And he does one that goes down the curtain, which effectively turns the curtain into a box. So if you've got cages you need to strap, you can put the strap down the side, and it's got all links all the way along, so you can actually strap to the side of where the curtain is. That's brilliant. I haven't got one, of course. I should do, really. I just never really needed one. And of course you get the ones where you've got the middle pole where the straps hang down, which I had on mine originally. But that's a ball ache because you've got these straps and if they're not on, they're just hanging down the middle of the bed, which means if you're loading pallets, like if you're on a sort of a distribution centre, you've got to work your way around them. I find it much easier to have it completely clear, and also they come down but they don't strap over. So if the top of the box is there and the top of your lorry is there and the pole's in the middle, it goes, rather than going straight over tight, it kind of goes like that. But anyone listening on the podcast, this is going to mean absolutely nothing to you because I'm making funny things on there. But I'd prefer it to be fitted so that it actually works as opposed to kind of works. But you can do it. They kind of, there are ways. I've still got the rings because sometimes if it's really high, I use the clips on the straps, put the hooks and strap, put them over the rings, and then you can use it, you can adapt it. But you do you. Everyone's got their own way of doing it. You do you. That is the way I do it. So, and particularly if you're in, I always like the retractable ones as well, particularly if you're in a van. The 2-ton retractable straps, they were really good. But anyhow, in other news, the book is now out. I haven't done the actual video for it yet, the official launch, but it is out. I googled my name in Amazon. If you Google Peter Coath, Coath, like coat, but with an H on the end. In Amazon, all three of them fired up. I mean, oh, look at that. And the podcast fires up as well. But if you type in Take Care, Take Money in Amazon, it'll come up. Or if you type Pete the Trucker into Google, that would take you to my website. I don't know if there's a link on there yet. Or, of course, there are links. I'll probably put a link down below if I remember. But it's out. If anybody wants to, like I say, I'm going to do the official video launching it in the next week or two. I'm just waiting for my mate to put it up on a website. In the meantime, anyone who's read it or wants to read it or wants to leave reviews, please do. I know Ian says he says I've made a start on the book, we'll keep you posted. I know he's finished it. He's only read 2 books his entire life, my first one and my second one. I am incredibly flattered, mate. Thank you very much. He's in it as well. And as for CW, he said, Peter, I'm nosy. Can't wait to find out what happened with your colleagues. Well, it's in there. The thing is, of course it's not true. It's a fiction because who would be that stupid? The thing is, I'm also lazy. What are the chances of putting into an Audible? Cheers, Cap. I've got the plan where maybe, at the time it's going to take me to read it. It's going to take forever. But I might see if you can do it with the AI, because I know the AI does all this kind of stuff now. Having said that, the computer at the moment's in the menders because fan don't work. Well, it does work. It makes a really big noise. It goes when it's on. That's not good, is it? It sounds like a submarine about to dive. Yeah, so that's in the menders. I have got spares, but that's the one that does all the editing. So it might come back even better. You know, like Steve Austin. We can rebuild him. Contemporary reference for the 18 to 25-year-olds there. But yeah, anyway, computers in soon. In the meantime, I'm doing it on my phone. I'm doing it on the other computer. And I have got a spare computer, but it's old. Anyhow, but I'll get onto that one. But like I say, anybody wants to read it, if you type Take Care, Take Money into Amazon, it's there. It's available. The paperback is a tenner. The Kindle version is a £5. If you do read it, let me know what you think. I appreciate it. Whether good or bad, I'd just like to know. Lee says, now this is to do, we're on a miscellaneous now. Lee says, I spoke to you for ages, actually. I'll give you a ring. To do with the Smart Pay thing. He says, if you copy and paste the Smart Pay code into your CXHX wallet, it says who's paid you. What I tend to do I know who's due to pay me anyway, so it tends to be them. But sometimes people pay early. Rarely, but sometimes they do. But I know you get remittance advice. They email you the remittance advice. So I keep the remittance advice so I can double check who's paid me. What does throw me out a little bit is if you ever have to do the lightning strike. If you think, I need the money now, it hurts. It really hurts. I haven't had to do a little. I had to do quite a few last week, and it was like, that really's cost me. This week, I'm getting back on top of it after Christmas. And there was a lull after Christmas where I didn't realise, but because I still had the factoring company, the app wasn't working properly. And I was seeing like 2 or 3 jobs, whereas I should have been seeing 20 or 30. And it's only after I dumped the factoring company I realised. But that cost me about 2 weeks. I didn't know. So that's put me back as well. But these things happen. Apparently there is a way, and you can copy and paste it into the wallet, and it shows you. I haven't tried it yet because, like I say, I'm working off remittance. He also says, regarding the feedback, this is the negative feedback. I've never left negative feedback, but I have blocked a couple of shippers who's messed me about. I wish the CX would automatically give the option to leave feedback as soon as you've been paid. So do I. This is another tedious thing regarding the feedback, which is, I think if you particularly want to give someone bad feedback, you kind of got to go on the job, click on it, leave feedback, or you wait for it to come up. And what normally happens is a little red dot appears. This is on the desktop, on the burger bar, the 3 slots in the top right-hand corner. And it says you have been, leave feedback for that. And it gives you a list of people. So you kind of got to remember who the people who paid you late were. And you get to the stage where you think, well, that was 2 weeks ago. Then he paid me a week late, but I can't be bothered. So you just click positive, submit. That's not right. So I've got in my mind a couple of people. Don't get me wrong. One of them paid me, both of them about a week late. I'm going to go with a neutral thing and see what happens. I just go neutral, paid a week late. I might even write in the comments, paid a week late. I know it's standard. I know lots of people do this. Still gets on your nerves a bit, though. And see what happens. If I do it for a couple of people, I may never work for them again. But if I only do it for a couple of people, I'm sure there are plenty of other people that will take me on. Mick Meadows says, he said, I would have thought you should be able to leave negative feedback if they pay late, providing that you fulfill everything 100% correctly your end. Yeah, I do. It doesn't have to be nasty. Exactly. It doesn't have to be nasty and malicious. Just to comment like how payment was late and why they got negative rate. Exactly. That's Mick. That's my plan. Just to go, you paid me a week late. It's not, I know it's kind of standard for a lot of people, but really it is invoices due by, not the invoices due on this date, so that's when you should think about it. But then one of my customers is now 9 days overdue. Happens. I'm sure I'll get the money eventually. Just gets on your nerves, that's all. And that's it. That's all we got time for today. So I'm going to get this uploaded. Hopefully, how much have I got left to go? Still got a while left. Been on break for 16 minutes now. 14 minutes. Then I'm off to pick up in Bury St Edmunds. Where is St Edmund buried? Bury St Edmunds. It's true. It's my favourite. One of my favourite Trivial Pursuit questions. Ones I use all the time. Which vehicle has the number plate NCC 1701? Answers in the comments. If I remember, I'll tell you next week. But if you leave a comment with the right answer, I'll remember. I'll tell you next week. Hey, we could have a weekly quiz. That would be fun, wouldn't it? But that's it. So, hope you're out there doing it. Sun is shining. It's getting a bit warm, a bit like the cherry blossom on the trees. A lovely time when touring the country, taking care and taking money.